So when it comes to wearable tech in 2021, one of the biggest names on the rise is Amazfit, and it's easy to see why. They create rather nice looking watches packed with features for an actually pretty budget price point. And one of their best offerings in 2020 was this lovely wee bugger here, the Amazfit GTR 2, a stainless steel smartwatch boasting quite premium specs, full fitness tracking features and far longer battery life than the likes of the Apple Watch. And in 2021, Amazfit is already at it, so now the GTR 2 has been joined by this fresh new alternative, the GTR 2e, where the E stands for essential. And the Amazfit's GTR 2e looks almost identical to the original, but some of those more premium features have been stripped out to reach a more affordable asking price, like the ability to store music on there and the built-in speaker. Now, I've had the Amazfit GTR 2e sat on my wrist for the past week. I've been fully tested out all other features, including that fitness shenanigans. That's how dedicated to the cause I am. So here's my full Amazfit GTR 2e review, and for more on the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So as I mentioned, that design is practically unchanged for this essential remodel, and that's abso-bloody-lutely fine by me, because the original GTR 2 was sexier than a barrel full of Brangelinas. And no, I'm absolutely still not over that whole split, god damn it. The Amazfit GTR 2e does drop the stainless steel casing of the original, however, and replaces it with a cheaper aluminium alloy just to shave a few extra quid off, and to be honest, you won't really notice the difference. This watch is still a beauty, and so far, despite my banging the thing off several countertops and hard edges in various states of, let's call it disarray, the Amazfit Watch GTR 2e remains in pristine condition. Now, for anyone who's debating with themselves whether to get the GTR 2e or whether to go for the more compact GTS 2e, I mean, look, I've got notoriously slender wrists. They're so pathetically skinny that if I tried something like juggling, my hands would probably just snap off. But even I found that the GTR 2e was a perfectly fine fit, helped along by that really skinny finish, certainly a lot less chunky than most smartwatches, and it's also pleasantly light as well, so you basically forget you've even got it on. And as well as proving rather durable, the GTR 2e boasts that same 50-meter water resistance as the original watch, so you can keep it on in the pool or shower. And that 22mm silicone strip can once again be removed and replaced with another band. Now, you can control the Amazfit GTR 2e using the Zepp App, formerly known as the Amazfit app, and this works like basically any other wearable app that you download. It basically stores all of your vital stats and data, and it can also be used to set up the watch exactly how you like it. So the first thing you're confronted with when you load up the Zepp app is all of your health stats, and let's not dwell too much on mine, because as I've made perfectly clear in previous smartwatch reviews, the furthest I walk these days is generally to the Kazi and back. But if you want to, you can tap your way into any of these elements and get a bit more of a detailed breakdown, and quite a lot of these sections do actually go into quite a surprising amount of detail. For instance, the sleep tracking on the GTR 2e is definitely a step beyond what you get on a lot of other smartwatches, where it feels kind of tacked on and a bit pointless. You'll see on the Amazfit you get a nice clear breakdown of exactly how much deep sleep you've managed, exactly at which points during the night you woke up. You even get scored on your sleep quality. So basically you can feel bad about yourself in a whole new way. Oh, you're so goddamn useless, you even suck at sleep. Meanwhile, the profile section down here at the bottom allows you to change up your goals at any point and also track your records for your running sessions, cycling, stuff like that. And then you can change up the smartwatch settings by actually tapping on the name of it under My Devices. And you can change up pretty much everything in here, exactly which apps will give you notifications, for instance. And change up the haptics, whether you have 24-hour heart rate monitoring or not. You've got security options. You can see which wrist you're wearing it on as well. It can actually rotate the screen depending on which side you rock it on. And if you're in the habit of losing your there's even a find watch feature in there as well. It's pretty comprehensive stuff. Now back to that sexerific hardware, and the GTR 2e's 1.39-inch AMOLED screen is the same tech as that original model. On top brightness you won't have to squint too much when the sun's shining, while the 326 pixel per inch resolution helps to keep tiny text sharp and clearly legible. And Amazfit's UI is quite colourful, and those colours look fine. Not particularly punchy, but certainly not lifeless either. We're talking about a happy medium. And speaking of that UI, it's actually not too dissimilar to the likes of Wear OS and a lot of other smartwatch rivals. You've got fast access to all of your sort of main information by swiping every which way. So for instance, if you swipe down the display, where you get fast access to the GTR 2e's shortcut icons, which are absolutely teeny, so you'll definitely have to be very careful when you're tapping to make sure you get the right one. And here's a fun little tip for you as well. If you're busy listening to some music on your smartphone, using some earphones, and you're messing around on your Amazfit watch, definitely do not accidentally tap that Find My Phone icon when you're fumbling around in the settings, because what you'll do, and this is the fun part, is blast insanely loud noise direct into your lug holes. You've got a variety of watch faces that you can choose between just by long pressing on that home screen. As you can see, you've got various digital digital efforts, analog efforts as well, most of which will display your sort of health stats and all that good stuff on the main screen. And you can adjust some of the elements as well, as you can see there, to pick up the stats that you find most useful. And because it's an OLED screen, that also means you have full always on display functionality as well, and the AOD actually matches your watch face as well, so you get a nice consistent approach to it all. Swipe this away and you'll drag up the notifications bar, and this is definitely one area where the Amazfit GTR 2e could do a lot better. As I mentioned before, using that Zepp app, you can actually dictate exactly which apps can notify you on your smartwatch whenever something pops up on your phone that demands your attention. Unfortunately, it is very, very bare bones. Basically, you can get a sort of quick summary of exactly what the notification's all about here on the smartwatch, but you can't do anything else with it. You can't directly reply to a message, you can't archive it on your phone. And I did find occasionally the smartwatch simply wouldn't notify me either when something buzzed onto my phone, generally if there were other notifications sort of piled up. So yeah, it would definitely be good to see Amazfit improve that over time. Meanwhile, if you swipe right or left, you get fast access to basically the most important apps to you. So you can see, for instance, what your heart rate measurement is doing. You've got fast access to your music controls, all that good stuff. So very similar to the likes of the Huawei watches and Wear OS, of course. And this is fully customizable via the phone as well. So if there's any views you don't want, you can just get rid of them. You can add in different ones. And yeah, the performance ain't quite perfect. You will see the odd judder here and there as you're flicking through the various menus and everything. But you know what? On the whole, it is pretty bloody good. And here on the Amazfit Watch GTR 2e, you once again have two physical buttons here on the right edge of the device. The top one, as before, brings up a list of your apps that you've got available. You can also tap it again to go back to that main watch face. And meanwhile, the bottom button brings up your favorite app. In this case, as a default, it's the workouts. Not sure about you, but definitely my favorite. And you do have a small but pretty useful selection of apps here on the Amazfit Watch GTR 2e, including, of course, all the fitness stuff you'd expect, like the heart rate tracker, your workout, your activities, stress levels, SpO2 measurements, so all that good fitness stuff, and then tools that you'd expect like music controls, alarms, events. With the music controls though, unfortunately you can't actually store tunes on the Watch GTR 2e, unlike the original GTR 2, which came with 3 gigs of storage. So all you can do here is actually control the music that is playing on your smartphone. And again, it's a small but pretty comprehensive set of controls, and you can change the volume if needed to. And one of the other main features that Amazfit has stripped out of the essential version of this watch compared with the original GTR 2 is the built-in speaker as well. So you do have a mic in here, but you do not have a speaker, so you can't actually take calls via the watch. You will get call notifications that will literally just pop up saying, hey, somebody's ringing, you might want to pick up your phone. And like the Huawei watch and a few other smartwatches as well, there's no ability to download fresh new apps from an app store, unlike the likes of Wear OS and the Apple Watch. So you're basically stuck with what you've got, although Amazfit can add new apps in future updates. So as I already mentioned, the GTR 2e does still have a built-in mic. This means you do still get voice commands as well. So you'll notice that when the watch is powered down, if you then power it back up, you'll spy this little blue icon pop up here right at the very bottom. And what that basically means is that for the first 5 seconds or so when you wake up the Watch GTR 2e, it is listening for any specific voice commands. So for instance, you could say, open weather, and it will recognize that and open the weather. And you can use this feature to basically access most of the apps and other bits on the Watch GTR 2e without having to touch the touchscreen, although I'm not really sure what the point of it is, to be honest, unless maybe you're wearing gloves and you can't actually get the touchscreen to work. Personally, I've got to admit, I forgot that that was even really a thing. Now, for all you fitness fans out there, the Amazfit has got all of those usual features as we've run through, including the likes of built-in GPS and support for all the standard exercise shenanigans. Although, if you are into something a bit more specialist, you might want to check out the Huawei watches or a Wear OS rival. Still, that BioTracker 2 sensor seems perfectly accurate when it comes to measuring the likes of your heart rate. I did find that my SpO2 measurements were almost always 100% though, which seems a little optimistic. But as always, of course, the Amazfit Watch GTR 2e isn't a medical device, it's just there for sort of general guidance. And Amazfit has actually added in a feature to the Watch GTR 2e which wasn't found in the original, and that is the fresh new temperature sensor. And this could be handy for diagnosing a fever and potentially warning you that you might have a certain virus that's proven super popular right now. Now you can start tracking your exercise session here on the Watch GTR 2E with just a couple of quick button pushes, although it also comes with a built-in automatic exercise detection feature as well. Personally, I found that was about as useless as a pair of cotton candy Y-fronts. Only twice during my entire time with the Watch GTR 2E did it actually detect that I'd started doing exercise. One of those times was when I was changing the TV channel using the remote control, and the other was when I was enthusiastically removing the lid on a jar of Nutella. However, it did not detect that I was doing exercise when I was doing my daily boxing session on a bit of Fit X, or when I was dancing around my living room like a twat, or the one time I actually walked to the shops to stock up on booze again. So yeah, if I was you, I would just stick to the manual tracking. Now the battery size on the Amazfit Watch GTR 2E is exactly the same as the standard GTR 2, but Amazfit still reckons that the battery life has increased from 14 days to 24 days with regular everyday use. However, with the always on display active and that 24-hour heart rate tracking and the occasional bit of fitness tracking thrown in there for good measure, I found that certainly was not the case. The Watch GTR 2E certainly performed well, definitely impressed me, gave me around 10 days of full use on a single charge. Definitely one of the better efforts for a modern 2021 smartwatch, and certainly a lot better than the likes of the Apple Watch and a lot of Wear OS devices as well, even the TicWatch Pro. And it's probably about on par with the likes of the Huawei watches, the likes of the GT2 Pro. Meanwhile, charging back up is nice and swift as well. You got that bundled magnetic proprietary dock in the box. Just slap that into a laptop, attach the watch, and it'll be back up to full again from zero in about an hour and a half or so. So that's my review of the Amazfit Watch GTR 2E after using it as my full-time smartwatch for just over a week, and I really enjoyed my time with it. The design is absolutely stunning. It's got most of the features on there that you'd expect, and if you're not bothered about having a speaker to actually take calls via the watch or have that built-in storage for carrying around music, then you know what, you'll save a few quid on the original GTR 2. There are some elements that could use a bit of tender love and care, like the notification stuff, for instance. Not quite as good as a lot of rivals like the Huawei watches, for instance, in that department, but still very solid, and the battery life, while nowhere near as good as Amazfit reckons, is still pretty bloody good. So that's what I think, but it'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I've done a full comparison side by side with the Watch GTR 2 and the GTR 2E and the GTS2 and the GTS2E as well, so go check that out to see exactly what the differences are between all four of these bad boys. And I've also got the Mini to review as well, so that'll keep me going for a bit longer. So thanks very much. Please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a very fine rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.